What's up, YouTube? It's PJ's Chess here, back with another video. So today I have two games with a 90+% accuracy. Thought it'd be pretty cool. As you probably saw the title, I think I made it similar to that. And then I want to show you something real quick. In the tournament I played, no games, but you can just see the scores, see that I am doing pretty good in Blitz over the board. Before I get into both of those things, please like and subscribe and share the content. Really appreciate it. Small channel, trying to get to 50 subscribers soon. Yeah, let's get into the games. Oh, first, before the games, let's show this real quick. Played Blitz tournament last night. This is my name, Stephen Washington. I was 7.5 out of 8, so I had a pretty good tournament. Now, I know the ratings, they don't play Blitz as much. Me and this guy are pretty much the same. They just don't play tournaments as much as I do. I play in a lot, and they don't play quite as many. And that's that. So 7.5 out of 8. I got a win and my name on a plaque, and that was pretty cool. And now let's get into the game. You see, I was a 90. This is a 97.3% accuracy game. A bit shorter than the other one, but I still thought it was pretty cool to have it for 12 moves. I don't know. I only had one thing that if we actually go to it real quick, you see it's only one move that isn't the best or a great move, and it was a good move, and then I have 4 book moves. So yeah, it was a pretty good game. I'm curious how that math is, because one good move taking off 2.7% accuracy seems kind of interesting. But let's start the review. They go e4, I go e6, playing the French defense. I kind of want to play e5. I was thinking about it last night as I was laying down. Like, I need to know how to play against the King's Gambit, the center game, knight f3, and knight c6. So I need to know how to play the different things in this, like the Vienna game, I mean. But since I don't, I go with e6, which is a little bit worse, but I do know a lot better, so I feel more confident, as you see by the accuracy. But e4, e6, d4, d5. They go knight to c3. I capture the pawn. Now, I actually usually play knight to f6 as a Tarrasch variation, which is actually the first thing I learned when I came back to chess about 2 years ago. But the reason I didn't go for it is because I was actually talking about it with someone at the chess club I go to, and when I was showing him, he's like, "Why don't you just take the pawn?" And I was like, "Huh? Why don't I?" Because in the Tarrasch variation, it's like this, this, this. I guess they can go f4 and then like c5 or something like that. This is obviously not what happened in the game, but this is all book move. This is a Tarrasch, as you can see, like, and eventually, knight f3, knight c6. This is what you'll get, which does not look quite as good as when you take the pawn. So I was like, okay, I'm playing along. Let me just try taking the pawn now, which I did. So I take the pawn. They take knight here to f6. Now, this is the only thing that I didn't really understand about this opening. Because if they were to take this and I do here, this has to be a disadvantage. And it is. It's like minus 0.7 for white, or plus 0.7 for white, so minus 0.7 for black. It's not a great thing. But I go there. They don't take. And once they did this, I was like, oh, this actually looks kind of good. So first I go c5. Now, the reason that you go c5 here, now, obviously, this is the first time I played it in this way, but my intuition was correct in that if they take, they're going to, this is going to happen, and you have knight here. And then if they don't take, which they actually don't take, you can take the pawn anyways, because if they take with the queen, you take with the, or I can just show it. If they take with the queen, you take with the queen. And they have an isolated pawn in the center of the board, and that's now happens in the game, which is a similar thing. They take with the pawn, and again, they have this isolated pawn, and it's very hard to protect because, one, you're not fully developed. I mean, you're actually 2 moves away from protecting it. But think about it. The point of these pieces now will be to completely guard the d4 pawn, which will sort of be the issue. And you don't really want to do that. You want to have your pieces be aggressors and not defenders, especially this earlier in the game. You don't really want to have a weakness. The weaknesses, I don't know the exact time in the game, but I just know in the opening is generally not for that. But here I go bishop to b4, which is a great move. It's because it's a check, and it's a check that makes them lose a pawn. So they can't go queen forward, or just for example, I'm sure most of you've seen this, but because they lose their queen. So the issue is when you go there, if you have to go with the bishop, now this pawn drops. Because if you block the queen, you lose the queen, and you block the bishop, and the queen alarm protects the pawn, and you take this isolated pawn, which is why going c5 is so good, because it created a weakness, which is what a lot of chess is. You want to have your opponent have a not good position. They go knight f3, attacking my queen. I actually take the queen here. Wow. I take the pawn here on b2. The reason I did this, I was calculating to make sure my queen can't get trapped. They go rook over, I can just give a check first, take that pawn, and then this pawn is still guarded here. And this is actually ends up being why the one move I do make is not the best move. It's the third best move. They give a check, and I block with the knight. Now, I'll calculate this for a little bit of time. As you can see, 14 seconds. And if you look at the rest of the time, it's going to be 20 seconds to make 9 moves. So a little more than 2 seconds. 2 seconds to move like 2.2, I think, something like that. But this move took 14 seconds. So although 14 is still not a lot, and with the way the game was going, this was a bit of a difference. The reason this took so long is because I didn't want to go bishop here. I saw bishop here. I saw takes, and then rook here. So this is where I may have just messed up, because after rook here, maybe, yeah, bishop x d2, and then knight x d2, queen. Oh yeah, it's a trade. Okay, yeah, that would have been fine actually. I was very worried about this rook getting in, because I look at it now, looking with the evot bar, it actually wasn't that big of a deal if the rook were to get in. But that is why I did that. So let's go forward a little bit. So I'll take the pawn, take there, and I block with the knight, because now in that whole exchange that I just went through, when the rook gets there, it can't take the pawn, and if the bishop were to take the knight, I could take with the knight. And I was like, well, it's not the best to have my bishop caged up, but I'll be up material. I can worry about the rest of the stuff later. But they castle, I take their bishop, they take with the knight, and I take their bishop. And they just resign here. So there's nothing more they can do. So again, this was a shorter one. I didn't want to show it because I thought it was cool getting a 97.3% accuracy for not like a 4-move game. Then this is the longest game I've had with a 97% accuracy. Pretty cool. But yeah, let's go to the next one. 93.8%. This one was a lot longer if I remember correctly. This one, yeah, it was 44 moves. So that's pretty cool. I don't 40. I don't want to spoil it. 48 moves, and I had a 94% accuracy for 48 moves. That's pretty cool. I want to go to the breakdown real quick before we go and get into it. I had 2 great moves, 19 best, 23 excellent, 2 good, 2 book, no inaccuracies, no mistakes. Wow, I didn't realize that. I know inaccuracies and mistakes the entire game, which is pretty cool. So I go d4, they go e6, bishop f4, knight to e7, and pawn to e3. Now off rip, I feel confident, which is what a lot of chess is. I was actually talking about this at the tournament last night. Chess is so much more psychological and much like a sport that people give it credit for. And I think I said before on my channel, but I haven't posted in a while. So maybe it's your first video or no video or newest video if you don't remember. But I talk about that a lot of the time on my streams and stuff. Like it's a sport, and that's actually a TikTok sound. But I just think it's pretty cool that it's so sports. Like online, you don't get the feeling, but in person, like because a lot of the Bush tournaments I play, you can very easily be overwhelmed. You can, the way people are moving the pieces quickly, their confidence level, their how high or low it is. Like they're super unconfident. You gain some confidence, it improves your play. Like, oh, I got this. I mean, that is just an underrated part of it. So when they play knight to e7, although it's not the same as in person, like, oh, that's not right. I don't see that often. I felt pretty good. So I go c3, they go bishop to e7, bishop to d3, they go pawn to f5, and knight to f3. Now I gotta be honest, did not know I was +1 here, but I remember this game now. So yeah, it was a longer game, but I guess remembering it now after I see the blunder on the board, but it's a longer game, but I was up from the beginning, and they blundered here. Now if you can't see the blunder, well, I'll give you like not a minute. Like you can pause the video, see if you can see why it's a blunder, and then I'm assuming you've unpaused it by now. But the issue is that knight captures and then check. Now actually just the previous game, I lost for a very similar reason, where I just dropped the piece. It was against a candidate master, I'm pretty sure. Very bad move. Yeah, it was against a candidate master. And I actually had a chance because they did not play the opening right, and I just for whatever reason blundered. But they go here, I take, and now we're going to this end game, or I guess it's kind of like a middle game ish. I don't really know what you call this one, where I'm up a bishop. They go pawn here to b6. I go bishop back here, attacking the weakness on c7. They go pawn to d6, blocking it. Good, second best move. I go knight to d2, bishop to g. No, not b. Not wow. Excuse me. Bishop b7. I castle, they castle, and pawn to f3. Now pawn f3 is a move I wanted to get towards the center of the board. Remember, I'm up material. I just want to trade everything down. Well, not everything. I want to trade a lot of things down. And I want to start by opening up the files. They go pawn here to h5. I go h4. Now bishop h4 was better. I didn't consider it, honestly. As you see, it only took 2 seconds because it was natural to me. Once they committed, this is when I knew the game was definitely over. Now, I thought I was over when I was up a bishop, but obviously things can happen and mistakes can occur. But now that their attack is only on a dark square, and I have a dark square bishop and they don't, or their pawns are only on light squares. So their next move is going to have to be a dark square, which I control much better than they do. I felt no pressure. I go f4. Now again, they can't ever push this, so they can't ever get an open file on this bishop. Actually, I can play this game on stream. They go knight here to e7. I go e4, they go pawn 4, and now when I take, as I mentioned, they have to go to a dark square to try and open it up. Now, if I took with the h-pawn, I think I'm still winning, but it's definitely a lot worse. I wonder, oh, it's not even that much worse. It's my 5.1 versus 4.1, so not a huge difference, but I went for the best move. They take, I take with the bishop, and now after d4, d5, it's really over. The reason that it's really over here is their scope is completely limited because of this. Now, would it have mattered anyways? Not really, because since I have a light square bishop, it wouldn't matter. And here I should go bishop b3. Not the best move, but my thought here was to stop the bishop from getting this diagonal. So it was wrong. It was better to go bishop c2. I am curious why though, because you would think you want to stop the initiative and limit the bishop, because right now the scope is gone here. Even if they move the king and go here, the scope is gone here. So I want to stop this scope stopped on this diagonal. So I want to stop this one, which they want to go there, but it was for every reason not the best move. They go knight here. I trade. And the reason I decided to trade is I'm up material, but also because I have this. Right, I want to be able to clog up the file. They go here, and now as you can see, there's no way in here, 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 or here. So all 8 files are completely blocked up, and now I have all the initiative. Or not that I didn't before, but now it's really over. I go rook to f1, king comes over, bring my rook down, rook over, rook in again, because my idea is to go here and then here. But they actually make it simpler. They go king over, I'll just take the pawn. And the same issue persists, because once they go rook here to e8, bishop back, and as I mentioned, here, 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 are completely blocked up, so nothing they can really do. They go bishop here to a6, rook goes over, bishop comes down protecting it, but it doesn't matter. It's what I was trying to do is get this, so now they have to trade that off, and they actually played this on for a little bit of time. I go knight in, and they made me show some conversion technique, which I appreciate it because that's what's going to happen in real life, and it did happen, or someone just didn't resign. I had to play it out. But I bring my king over, the bishop goes back, I take this pawn, give a check, king in, and now I'm just going to rush my h-pawn down to kick it out eventually. They're going for this minority attack. It doesn't work. I mean, obviously, like it's just nothing they can really do. It's a 1-on-2, and they resign here as they realize there's just no point. I want to get my pawn here on h7 eventually, and the bishop's going to have to move. But yeah, those are the 2 games I have for you today. As you see, I had 2 others, but as I thought about it, it'd be kind of cooler to just have a 90% accuracy titled video, and then those 2 I save for another one. And then again, the Blitz tournament, I did pretty good, 7.5 out of 8. I wanted to go 8 for 8, but the person this guy here, very good. I can't be too mad I didn't beat him. But beat him both times. It was 1.5 out of 2. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good one, and yeah, see you next time.